This is a recording of the speech given by Her Holiness Mataji Nirmala Devi on the second day of the 3-day seminar held at CJ Hall on 19th, 28th and 21st March 1976.
Yesterday I had told you that today we are going to know something about the Kundalini. I hope are you able to hear me properly at the end there? ऐकायला येतंय का मागे? नाहीये? थोडं ओरडल्यावर येतं का? मोदी बघा ऐकायला येते? हो. Today we are going to discuss and to know about Kundalini. I do not know how far the scientists have reached to locate the Kundalini, how far they have been able to see and visualize the effects of Kundalini. But medically, they accept that there is a parasympathetic nervous system about which they cannot say much. They say it is a system which is controlled by itself, it's an autonomous nervous system, and they cannot say how it works. And they cannot explain the mode of action of this parasympathetic nervous system within ourselves. Science, in a way, is a great eye-opener. Because with science only you have reached a point where you realize that you cannot cross it. There's nothing beyond. That you have reached the last end of your search and that you have to come back. When we talk of the parasympathetic, it is a gross expression of the arrangement made by God within ourselves to live and exist as human beings. This parasympathetic is partially existing in our body, in our trunk. And there is a void in our being. The Kundalini is the power which is given to us specially to be reserved for our rebirth, for our salvation, for our emancipation, for our evolution to be that what we are actually. This residual power exists in the coccyx, in the triangular bone, in a dormant state, in every human being. All those are human beings have been given this power, a special power, which is placed in the coccyx, in the triangular bone, below the spinal cord, for the happening of that great moment in your life when you become one with the infinite. You are already programmed for it. God has already organized it within yourself. And there are 7 centers kept ready to allow it to move through them. Actually, she has to only traverse 6 centers because the 7th one lies below her. This is a very important point which most of the people missed. In the beginning, the mistake might have been genuine, that the last point which controls the pelvic plexus or the prostate gland or the sex is below the Kundalini and not above the Kundalini. And the place of the Kundalini is above the sex controlling center. This is a very important point. Perhaps some people, while meditating, have seen Ganesha's trunk because he resides in that lowest chakra, lowest center, which is known as the Muladhara chakra. And they must have mistook it to be the Kundalini because the trunk also looks convoluted. It's such a simple mistake, but it has created the greatest harm, greatest dangers for aspirants who are seeking God and who are seeking bliss and joy and who are hankering after self-knowledge. It is very difficult to digest now for the people that sex has nothing to do with your salvation. On the contrary, a person who is indulgent in perversity and all kinds of sex life is barred and is thrown into hell directly by Sri Ganesh. You have to be a temperate personality. You need not be a sannyasi. You need not be a person who is running away from sex, but those who are running towards sex and under the misguidance that by sex they are going to get to religion are the most misguided seekers. Take it from me. It's such a problem for me in the West, where we have exported our people those horrible things which have given them ideas that we must have liberation of sex, means enslavement of sex. This kind of idea started long time back in this country only, where the religion itself took its roots in their awareness when people were meditating. Equal and opposite forces work at the same time. And the Tantrikas took it over from the so-called misguided and mistaken people. And they started creating enormous amount of publications and all kinds of devices by which they could see that religion in you is completely finished. There's no end to their mischief, to such an extent that they use the scriptures in India. Even Vedas were tempered by those people, and they started describing Ashwamedh Yajna and things like that in relation to sex. They started describing Shiva and Shakti as having sex relationship. They even have yogic sexologies and things like that, such horrid things. Are we here to discuss the sex habits of our parents? While they are divine forces. That's a power of God Almighty. And there's no question of sex, while Shivalinga is confused with sex. When a person is tuned to something like that, and if his mind is all the time intertwined into those ideas, he puts everything related to sex, and that suits many people for their own weaknesses and for some innocent people who are frantically seeking God. I do not blame them. So many of them are absolutely innocent. Absolutely innocent about it. They have no idea what these things mean. The other day, you might have read, I think in the Current or something, they have found out a God man. There are many God men here in this country, suddenly coming up from somewhere. That this man was doing the puja of Durga with a sword in his hand. and was carrying on with many women who were around him. He was supposed to be a great guru. Later on he got married and he was caught, and then he committed suicide or something happened. But while dying he said that they have all caught me and killing me. These are the spirits which he was using. Now this kind of a nonsense that he was praying to Durga, we think that definitely the goddess Durga must have helped this horrid man. Has she got no other sense but to be a slave to a man like that? If she is the goddess, she won't even come near him. This is the position today of this country where such great people have been born, that we are enticed away and be fooled by these horrid people. We have sold off our brains and we are listening to them because they tell us that sex is going to give you God. Animals should get it first, much before you human beings can get it. We have lost all our reasoning power about it. Now why these people did the worship of Durga is very, very remarkably cunning. Very cunning. For example, if you take the name of God and try to raise the Kundalini, Kundalini is not going to rise. She is settled down there, and Sri Ganesha is going to see to you that you have been doing unauthorized things, and he is going to punish. He is going to punish you so severely that you are not going to get any realization. On the contrary, you will be thrown into hell if you do all these tricks. Now this Durga was worshipped. Why? Durga was only worshipped because they wanted that Durga should be so annoyed that she should disappear from them, and that they should be able to enjoy all that free portion, all that free area with their spirits. And that is why they have been worshipping goddesses and all kinds of gods. They have been working Shiva. They are working on all these people so that their attention is withdrawn from them. The chitta is taken away from them. This is, sometimes they call it as Virodhi Bhakti. They give big names to this cheating and this cunning way of displeasing God deliberately. It's a very serious thing. They do not know. They are planning for themselves very well a complete hellish life. But I'm sorry for those who are seeking. Those who are really seeking God are falling a prey. As a mother, you can imagine how unhappy and sorry I must be feeling the way these people are misguided and taken to places where they should not have been any moment. For Kundalini Jagruti, for Kundalini awakening, a person has to be a temperate person, has to be a pious person. Supposing Mr. Hitler comes and asks me that you give me realization, how can I give him realization? Perhaps his Kundalini is missing itself. These inhuman people who have taken birth with human forms need not be human beings. They can be Rakshasas and they can be animals. Many animals are born these days who are not human beings, but they look like human beings. That's why there's such a overpopulation. These animals will go back to their places as soon as they discover that the atmosphere in which they are living is congenial to the saintly people and not to them. Saintliness, the temperance, the piousness, the respect and dignity we pay to our body and to ourselves, not the cheapishness with which we treat ourselves, the way we fritter away ourselves every day and night. That's not the way you as human beings should live. You can see that on your Kundalini, that on the first chakra, Muladhara, first chakra of Muladhara, I am saying, because Muladhara is a place where the Kundalini lies. She lies in 3.5 coil, Mother, the Gauri, mother of Sri Ganesha. She is your mother too. You are the only son she has. She is like a tape recorder. She has got all that you have done in the past. She has got all that recorded within herself. And when you come to seek from a person who is authorized, she rises. This morning you have seen, so many of you have seen, how the Kundalini reacts, how there is a pulsation with your naked eyes. You can see, you need not be realized. You can see the rising of the Kundalini with your naked eyes. There is no befooling of it. You cannot befool people about it. You cannot just say, yes, yes, it has happened. Yes, you are realized. No, it's a fact. And this Muladhara chakra is the most important chakra in every human being, where Sri Ganesha is the symbol. Sri Ganesha is the symbol which has come to us from the unconscious, from the acheta and from the divine. It's not our own creation. Let me tell you that that's the thing you are going to see when you get your realization. Without taking his name, your Muladhara cannot be excited. Or in the sense, excited is a funny word, but we can say cannot be enlightened. You cannot make Sri Ganesha active unless and until you have respect for your chastity. He is the symbol of eternal childhood. And when you come to your mother, you have to come to me as a child. That is the symbol signifying that when you want to receive your realization, you have to be innocent like your child. But where is the innocent lost today? It's lost because of the pressure of, I am sorry to say, but because of overdeveloped people, the so-called industrial development of people. When you start mechanically too much improving, then you forget your humanity. You forget that you are a human being. You have to live with the laws of a human being. You cannot fritter away with your human conscience, and you cannot play about with your chastity, which is the basis of every human being, whether it's a man or a woman. Chastity is not only meant for women, but also for men. Who cannot respect their chastity are not human beings, but are just like dogs. They are not entitled to get their realization unless and until you have respect for your chastity. It sounds fantastic. It sounds foolish too to some people. But it's a fact. And people don't like it when I tell them that you have to understand that chastity is the basis of every human action. It comes out of innocence. It's the flower of innocence. Have you seen small children? How innocently they live, how innocently they behave. They are so natural, they are so spontaneous. I do not mean to say that you should put restriction on yourselves and you should become a sannyasi, but you must lead a chaste married life and be normal people. There's no need to be abnormally funny or to be abnormally strict. You have to just exist. What extremes people have reached, it's impossible to describe in this small lecture of mine. So the first chakra of Sri Ganesha is worshipped in every ritual, everywhere, and wherever women are taking their bath in our country, we put the statue of Sri Ganesha. Let us say namaskar to him. Let him guide us, because he is to be worshipped. We have to ask for innocence from him. He emits innocence in us. Sri Ganesha has been later on taken a human form. He has taken a human form as Jesus Christ. It's a fact. But I have seen that in England, a place where Christ is worshipped so much, they have started a play where they have shown that he had bad relations with his mother. Can you understand that? Can you explain that perversity? Whatever we do wrong, whatever perversity we have within ourselves, we propagate such horrid things. He was such a great personality who was born to save us. He came for our salvation. It was Sri Ganesha's incarnation. But people do not want to believe in it. They do not want to accept it. Because in this country, people think they are great Hindus. But who really believes any one of these things? Because they do not want to see. If you are really seeking, you can see it on your Kundalini that he stays here in the Agya Chakra. And where you take his name, you find that he is the door. And he opens the door and you have to pass through him. He is Mahavishnu described in our books. He is the incarnation of that great personality, Mahavishnu. I do not know how many of you have read about Mahavishnu, who was the son of Radha. He resides here on our forehead. It is he who removes all these entities, badhas which are entering into us. Now, there are some people, for example, in London, people do not believe because they think I am spreading Hinduism. While here people think I am spreading Islam. There was one gentleman who was preaching against Islam. And I asked him, who is your guru? He said, it is Sai Baba. I said, what was Sai Baba's religion? He says he had no religion. I said, he was born as a Muslim. Now what do you say to that? Sai Baba's disciples speaking against Islam. Sai Baba or all these great gurus like Muhammad Sahib, Raja Janak and Zoroaster and all of them are the incarnation of Dattatreya. Dattatreya was a deity which was created specially by the primordial mother to represent the primordial master. This primordial master was specially created for human beings so that they are not misguided. This entity, you know that, Dattatreya. And he has incarnated on this earth many a times, right from Abraham, he has incarnated. And very recently, about, I should say 50 years before I was born, he was born very near in Shree. He is the same as Muhammad Sahib. And he is the same as Zoroaster. He is the same as Nanak. But just see what are his disciples doing. They are fighting among themselves. They are quarreling among themselves like fools. They don't know that their master was the same born again and again to lead you to reality. In London, there are many sick people. They are fighting because government has asked them to wear a helmet. There's a big fight going on all over. Now ask these Sikhs, where is Nanak? When did he say that you have to put on this turban? But he said definitely one thing, that you are not to drink. Same about Muslims. Muhammad Sahib said that you are not to drink. You go to Iran and you will know where is Islam. You go to these people and you will know where is the great Guru Nanak has gone. He was the greatest of greatest. And this is how we have brought him to our turbans. Is it what he was? He was so great that it is beyond human words to describe the greatness of this Guru. He has come again and again and suffered at your hands. He was killed and poisoned many a times by you people. And today again we are killing him because we are doing just the opposite what he has told us. All of them have said not to drink. You will be amazed that cancer is caused. Cancer is caused when we disobey the law of human sustenance within our stomach. And that's why I say that it is only Sahaja Yoga which can cure cancer. We do not believe in the sustenance of human beings. We do not believe that we are human beings and we have certain sustenance. We have to live according to the law of the sustenance. We are not to be on our own to be foolish. And when we start playing with our dharma, the sustenance, cancer takes place. It can be any dharma. Can be physical dharma, can be mental dharma, can be emotional dharma, and can be religious dharma. And what is the religious dharma? A very simple thing which our Shirdi Sai Baba has said, that to condemn any religion is the greatest sin. Now there are people who come to me, what are you going to do to save Hinduism or Christianity? I said, what is happening to it? If it is Sanatan, if it is eternal, nothing is going to happen to it. It is only you people who are perishing, and you should perish because you have taken away the life out of that religion. You have taken away the living source of that religion. When they are living, they are all one together. You can see that on the Kundalini. And this great incarnation resides in the void in the stomach of every human being. Now, when the human being exists, the first thing that happens to him is that his heart starts pulsating in a fetus state. When he is in the womb of the mother, his heart starts pulsating. This pulsation is felt in the heart, and that is the time the spirit, the Atma, enters into the heart. And the spirit is represented by the symbol of Shiva, of Sadashiva. He exists. He is there. He is all the time there. When everything is destroyed, everything is finished, still he exists. He is the last to go into the Brahma where it disappears. On the right side of the heart region, that is on the right side, resides Sri Ram. You have known him before, and I will tell you what is the connection. In the void in the center, on the Nabi of the Virata of the great being, is born Sri Vishnu. Sri Vishnu is the symbol of our sustenance, of our dharma. It is Sri Vishnu who represents the aspect of evolution in the human beings. Why not these scientists ask questions to themselves? Why human beings have come from amoeba to this stage? Why have we become human beings, and how? What is the thing that has played the part in making us human beings? We could have been amoebas, amoebae as they call it. We could have been anything, but why are we made human beings so well, and how? It is the sustenance, it is the dharma in everything that has brought about this beautiful thing known as human being. And that is represented in the stomach as Sri Vishnu. Sri Vishnu represents the sustenance. The dharma within us is a fact, which we can see in the Kundalini rising. When the Kundalini rises and somebody has a blockage in the stomach, we have to take the name of Sri Vishnu. Around the Nabhi chakra rotates a lotus on which Sri Brahmadeva exists. It's a symbol, but it exists. He exists. Who creates? He creates within us many things, and in the universe He creates all the galaxies and all the stars, earth, moon and sun. He is, that's why, placed on the second center known as Swadhisthana Chakra. And the third one is that of Sri Vishnu, which is known as the Nabhi Chakra, or the center that controls the solar plexus. I am giving you also medical terminology so that you should know that these things are expressed also in the gross form outside. I have told you that at the heart Shiva resides. In the center, first Sri Vishnu rises. From the Nabhi, from the navel of the universe, he rises and he takes 10 incarnations. One after another, these incarnations represent the evolutionary process. First, the Matsya, then the Kurma. Like that, there are 10 incarnations. And at the time of Rama's incarnation, he comes up to the heart point. And from there, he moves to one side because he is not a complete incarnation. He is made to be completely human, to make the people follow him. Otherwise, one would say that they are incarnations, how can we have their powers? So he is taken on the sides and he represents on the right side of the heart region. But in the center, the power of Shiva, that is Parvati, enters and she resides in the center, in the sacred heart. And from there, she protects the human beings who are seeking salvation in the void, in the Bhavasagara. She comes to save them. Many a times she has incarnated as Durga. In many lives, they say 108, but it is much more than that. Basically 108. She has incarnated many a times to save the human beings from the clutches of the evil forces that have existed in this Bhavasagara. Now, from where it has come is another story, which I will tell you some other time, how the evil forces have come in the play of God. But she comes, she incarnates, she has incarnated many a times before with a divine body. But later on she incarnates with a human body as Sita, Rama's wife. Then she incarnates as Krishna's power as Radha. Ra stands for energy, Dha means the one who sustains. She is the sustainer of the energy and she incarnates at this point, Vishuddhi Chakra, with Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna resides on this center of Vishuddhi Chakra. Centers are in the spinal cord, but outside it is controlling the cervical plexus. The cervical plexus has got 16 subplexuses and the Vishuddhi Chakra has got 16 petals. And that's why he is called as Solakala. He was complete. He is the Virata, no doubt. He is the primordial being as Virata. Virata means the great primordial being, the complete body, and that's why he appeared before Arjuna as Virata. We want to hear about Gita, but we do not want to realize what was Sri Krishna. We want to use our mental feats discussing all those small points, but we do not want to realize him within ourselves. He exists here. You will be amazed how these tantric things have worked in smaller ways also. For example, the people who are singing the song of Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. We are quite enamored to see these foreigners doing it. But you should know that this is unauthorized. They have no business. None of you who are not realized have any business to take any name of any one of these deities because you have not had the permission so far. Without permission, if you enter into something, then you know that you are disliked and then you are punished. So many of those people now are coming to me in England to say that they have developed a cancer of the throat. That is inevitable. Because of Sri Krishna's, because of his disappearance from the Vishuddhi chakra, one develops the cancer of the throat. That's why smoking, which is not liked by him, should be avoided. Smoking spoils Vishuddhi chakra and spoils also the solar plexus, physically and also mentally. Because Vishuddhi chakra is so important that it controls the beginning, the root of your ego and superego, which controls the complete entity of a human being. So Vishuddhi chakra is a very important, very, very important, and is having the maximum number of subplexuses. It's a center which is to be respected. When you speak, you use your Vishuddhi chakra. When you see, the eyes, the muscles are from the Vishuddhi chakra. When you hear, you do it through the Vishuddhi chakra. Through your nose, all nasal activities are due to Vishuddhi chakra. It is controlling practically most of the facial things. It is such an important thing. And also in the brain, your ego and superego starts from there. Just by reading Gita, you cannot reach Sri Krishna. Just by discussing it and arguing it, you cannot reach him. You have to take his permission. Through your Kundalini, you can reach him and you can feel. You have no right. You are not even awakened to it. How can I in England go and ask for citizenship without having any right there? How can I enjoy the powers of citizenship or all the facilities of a citizenship in a place where I do not belong? You are foreign in the land of Sri Krishna, in the land of God Almighty. First you have to take the permission through Kundalini awakening. So first of all, you must get your realization. You must jump into that. About the Vishuddhi chakra, I have told you, is the crossing point, is where Christ exists. In the life of Christ, it's so sad that Christians have really misunderstood him and crucified him in Dublin. They think he came on this earth to suffer, and they use the cross to show that he was suffering. They show him to be a lean and thin and pale and a serious lanky-panky person. It boils my heart. I cannot bear it because he was the healthiest man you could think of. He was the smiling thing. He was like a flower, beautiful and fresh. How can a divine incarnation be such a miserable, pathetic figure? But these are the painters who are putting themselves onto the canvas, calling it as Christ. He died on the cross, no doubt. But that's not the message. The message is his resurrection, where Krishna has said that's his father. He has said, Nainam chidanti shastrani, Nainam dahati pavakaha. He said that it cannot be killed. The eternal cannot be killed by weapon, neither by fire, nor by wind it can be blown off. It is an eternal thing. And he wanted to show to the whole world that the eternity exists, and the resurrection of his spirit is the message of Christianity, which is, of course, is overpassed by all the Christians. They are supposed to be suffering within themselves and making everybody else suffering by their domination. So now we come to the Sahasrara, which is the seventh home, which has been described many a times. here the Adi Shakti herself resides with all the 7 forms, and here the Kalaki incarnation exists. All these incarnations are put together in a bundle together in this incarnation, and they exist together. And here where I feel the Hindus are going to face the worst of it. As it is, all of them have failed, but the worst will be now the Hindus failing down, because they cannot understand the integration of religion. They cannot integrate among themselves. They are talking of Brahmins and Brahmins and what you call these Vaishyas and scheduled castes. And then give the example of Gita for this. Just imagine, the author of Gita was Vyasa, and his mother was a fisherwoman, and he was born of Parashar Muni. You know the story about her. And how can he ever say that you are born with a caste? Because he was not himself born. We have got Valmiki, the greatest author. He was just a fisherman. And how can you say that Valmiki preached the caste system the way we are following it? No, not at all. The caste system meant something else, absolutely different. It meant the temperament of human beings. The people who are seeking the Brahma, the God Almighty, few of you who are here, are the people who are Brahmins. Those who are seeking in money, who are now busy with the banks and arranging things for their money and all that, all the time worried about their money and piling up money after money and nothing else, are the Vaishyas. And those who are fighting for power, the politicians, busy with that, all the time thinking themselves to be very important, in charge of the whole world, such responsible politicians. They are the Kshatriyas. So you have these 3 castes, and the 4th one is the scheduled caste, which thinks by doing service we are going to get salvation. This is another tomfoolery. They are the worst type, because this is the greatest foolishness that enters into the minds of people, that we are doing service to others. What service are we going to do others when there is nobody as the other? Who is the other? They are all within me and within myself. They are myself. Who is the other? Is this finger is the other, or this finger is the other? They are all my own being. They are collectively one, can be seen only through Kundalini Jagruti. You can see that collectively you are conscious. You can feel the other on your fingers. You can feel it that the other person is suffering here, here or here. What is the problem? Unless and until your eyes are open to that awareness of collective consciousness, how am I to explain to you what it is? It has to happen to you. It is like explaining any color to a blind person. I am here before you to tell you, to give you, if you call it giving, that enlightenment. Actually, it happens automatically. It is spontaneous. For example, like a gardener, he does not do anything in the garden but pours the water. That's how I am pouring the water of my love. And let your seeds rise to their own meaning, and you really become samarth, meaning the same meaning as yourself. Let you feel the divine which is surrounding you. And that's how you watch and see, like a Sakshi, the working of the divine, the unconscious. And then all your worries are over, because you are just watching. No problems, you exist. And you see, because you are a human being, you understand it, you record it, and you emit it, and you give realization to others. You give them awakening, you cure them, you become empowered. But gurus, what powers do they give you? Whatever power you have, material and all that, they manage to take all that and keep it to themselves. That's what the gurus are. That's what they are meant for. It's not that. This is a mother's love. And for a mother, you have to demand. Whatever is missing, whatever is lacking, will be fulfilled and will be done. So I have described to you all these 7 centers on which there are 3 powers which are working. One, that of Mahalakshmi, which gives you evolution. One, that of Mahakali, which gives it existence. One of Mahasaraswati, which creates. It is not possible, you can understand, that in one lecture to give all elaborate idea about Kundalini. But it is possible that I can give you the working of the Kundalini. I can give you the full idea as to how it works in a second. For example, now, if there is a light here, and if I have to switch on that light, I have to just go and put on the switch. But if I have to explain the complete engineering of it, I'll have to put you for 5 years regular course in electrical engineering. So I have tried to explain to you what is the engineering within us. But human beings are not willing to accept that there is something like innocence which is emitted within us, that there is something like dharma that exists within us, that there is something like love that is within us. We do not want to believe in these things, and that there is something that keeps us to the right path all the time is the grace of God. They do not want to believe in it, or I don't believe in it, but have it and then tell me. But even for that, I think it's very difficult. We will go into meditation for a short time, and tomorrow we are going to have a very good meditation from 10 o'clock onward. For Sahaja Yogis, those who are realized, they can come at 7:30. But nobody else but a Sahaja Yogi should come at 7:30 for certain reasons. Because you must know that everything cannot be said before everyone. It has to be gradation. Once you are realized, then I can tell you about it, because unless and until you are realized, you are not going to understand it. You all are welcome to come at 10 o'clock, and all the Sahaja Yogis have to arrive here at 7:30 morning tomorrow. And now I would also like to hear some questions if there are any, and then we'll go in for meditation. Please ask the questions which will help you to solve your problem. I'm sorry if you have not been able to hear me because of this kind of an instrument that we have. We have to have a perfect instrument. In the same way, you have to be a perfect instrument to feel God Almighty.